It got a whole bunch of good longs. It got a whole bunch of good shorts. And myself and Mark have obviously um, almost figured out how we're gonna be taking profits. So the automation of that side is getting sorted out, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a complete bot up and working pretty soon. Um, for now, you can join the Provoke Discord and at least get the signal, but it's not automated yet. Alright, so let me just mark up all of these things. So this was last week's high. Last week's high. We got the weekly low already this week. In hopefully today. And then let's just mark the weekly close as well. Just so that we covered all our bases. That one's the last week close. Cool. Right, so I will be doing a video pretty soon. It will probably be like a webinar type thing, just where I can kind of show you guys how I mark up the charts and what gives away what I believe is going to happen next. But for now, I'm just going to pretty much browse through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link, and then what I call follow the money for FTX. And then we'll look at just like maybe one or two OG coins or one or two DeFi coins, depending on how long it is. But I want to try to keep the video to like half an hour. Pretty much what's going on in these projects over here will kind of give you enough information to make some decent decisions for yourself. Right, so let's get into it. Obviously the weekly closed quite strong yesterday. But kind of what gave it away as to a dump happening is that we kind of we just couldn't close above the range high, right, which was that one over there. So it's almost like natural that price will then, you know, like kind of move down just to find support again before it goes back up. Now, I mean, zoomed out, Bitcoin has gone on a humongous run, and this area here was kind of like the entire consolidation of January, right? And now we've moved higher into Feb, and now normally what happens though, you kind of get a retest and then the markup starts, right? So it doesn't always have to happen. So I'm just gonna kind of mark that area out there, which was January's high, right? So it would be pretty flippin' awesome if we kind of, you know, came down and tested that, right? I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, and like I say, I'm not bearish, but I'm gonna pretty much just draw out some daily blocks, just for where like I kind of see support, right? So and like I say, I will be doing something in the Discord with the guys pretty soon, or probably live, and just show you like how I mark out like my supply and my demand zones. So I pretty much say those are like the two areas of strong demand. Reaching back down here, I don't kind of see it happening. This could possibly happen, like I say, it could come test the high, and even, you know, like down into this kind of demand before it moves up. And then obviously, you know, we've got the glaringly obvious one over here, right? And you can see that we kind of tested last week's like demand, and then we moved back up. However, these last week's close is still, you know, kind of giving us a bit of resistance, right? So moving down into the 4-hour charts, I just want to make these like kind of a little bit clearer, right? So I'll definitely say that's like a serious supply over there. Every time we kind of get into it, we sell off, volume comes in. So for now, it's definitely a supply zone. Um, and like this area here kind of hasn't been tested, right? Um, and that would probably be quite a nice long as well. So let's just get that one in. Okay, and that's a demand. So yeah, I mean, like if we can't make a new high, like I'm still not too worried until we make a new low, right? So for now we could, pretty much range while the big guys accumulate before pumping higher. And I don't know. I'm definitely of the opinion that I think that we're gonna kind of play around here, just underneath this resistance, and we're not selling off badly, right? So we could just kind of consolidate here and then eventually break higher. But I think it's gonna happen quite quickly. So any retest into the like these demands are definitely buys. If we go down into like the 2 hour, you know, on the 2 hour we've kind of like already tested like a demand zone over there. Yeah, so I mean if this holds, I'd probably see us, kind of getting into this area and then kind of hovering around the highs, and then hopefully we break out and like go for like 54, 55. I think from the swing low we've got like a target of about 51. If we take the preceding swing low like 52, 300. But I think, like I say, if we break above this, definitely long the breakout, and you've got an easy trade into like at least that like extension fib level over there. Like I say, for now I'm not too worried about Bitcoin. This like I say, I think is the low for the week. I don't think that we're going to get lower. But what's amazing about having this is obviously like right in Monday, is that if we do kind of start trading below it and we don't recover back above, it turns quite bearish quickly, right? And then you can start looking for shorts. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I kind of see on Bitcoin at the moment. Scalping's a little bit difficult because you kind of are ranging, but like you really would want to pick these exact kind of like tops and bottoms, which makes it a little bit more difficult. At least like the further you are closer to major support and major resistance, we could possibly kind of you could be looking for like shorts there. I definitely wouldn't short unless I had like a super tight stop just above the highs, right? So I mean, if this is like a little bit of a liquidity run, and the guys are trapping a couple of over eager longers, yeah, like I said, I mean we could test into there. This over here now is like the bearish retest, so just on small time frames, like a close above this area would be pretty bullish already, right? Once I get to that high there. So yeah, I mean that's like on seriously low time frame. You can see there's a hell of a lot of volume in these areas over here, and they're all kind of at the top, right? So this is all going to become support if we close above, and then this whole kind of area will become the new demand if we break up. Yeah, so I mean that's Bitcoin.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Is it possible to see like if people have joined?
If I move over to Ethereum, sorry, let's keep this red. If I move over to Ethereum, Yeah, I drew this kind of pitchfork. Okay, there we go. Obviously, like, I mean, I don't even know if I drew it properly. It was more just like a timing kind of thing. So I want to, kind of time when we're going to get this 2000 move. And then I did have stacked bids over here, but Ethereum just like doesn't get there. So I'm still not in. But Ethereum still also looking quite bullish. It's all highs. There's no new lows. Yeah, so you want to see how it reacts once it breaks that low, and then start looking at PA to maybe get into a short position. But I kind of, think that like everything's going to be ranging quite a bit, and I think February might just range as well, just maybe at the highs. So yeah, like I say, Ethereum for me, even on the 4 hours, still looks quite bullish. I reckon we break up pretty soon, and hopefully, like towards the end of the month, hit that 2000 mark and above. If I look at Link, geez, I don't know. If I start looking at these coins, they have obviously been accumulated for, quite a long time. And then they like eventually broke out. On much higher time frames, this was like the resistance channel, if you want to call it, which we've broken out and retested on the 4 hour. So that's pretty bullish in itself, as long as it like kind of continues in here. And the way that like I kind of starting to read these charts is that they, especially like on Link, and then and I'll show you on the rest of the perps. It looks like there was quite a bit of like over leverage here, and this was just like kind of to cleanse out all of those longs. But I mean I wouldn't be surprised to see it like all of these new blue chip major DeFi coins kind of just go sideways for a little bit while guys that have closed out for profit here build new positions. I think that like most of the funding reset, but I mean some of them are still quite high if you want to, if you are a bull. But nothing screaming bearish price action right yet, right? There is obviously a lower high, and you'll see that like happening across the board. And then you see these like swing high patterns, like on high time frames. So it is possible. The thing is, I don't know how much R you're kind of gonna get unless you are targeting, like these double bottoms here, which is not a bad trade, especially if you get like a nice bit of bearish price action, right? But yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the same move Bitcoin made the other night, and with, if you kind of start getting a little bit of bearish price action, this 22 level is super juicy, just to get like rid of those stops before we move up. But yeah, I mean, nothing alarming. I'd probably say we're definitely going to reach like a $50 mark here on Link, especially if we kind of just accumulate a little bit more, reaccumulate a little bit more, and then we're definitely going to break up. And if it does reaccumulate, we'll probably see the same thing that happened on VET. So it kind of, comes in, does that kind of test, maybe even a fake out, and then up, and then we'll, eventually break out like that. So yeah, I mean, still nothing to be alarmed about. I wouldn't be bearish at all. Still pretty bullish. It all obviously heavily relies on Bitcoin, which still, like I say, I mean, there's no new lows, right? There needs to be a new high for us to continue with the trend. So it might be a little bit sideways for Bitcoin as well. So I think this week's probably going to be like mostly scalping weeks, and then hopefully somewhere it resolves itself where we can kind of find a swing. I don't really have that much time to scalp because the restaurant's kind of starting up now, and it's gotten super packed. Okay, so let's hop onto like what I call follow the money. So these are all projects that FTX has brought on. and they're all super interesting. So you've got FLM, which is like almost like a governance token. You got FTT, which they've always had, right? That's their own coin. This Bal Perp looks like almost almost like Link, so it's almost like an Oracle, except it does a few things that a couple of other projects don't, right? So it's definitely one to look out for. And then you've got your perps, which super awesome. It's like perpetual futures on the DeFi network, right? So that's something definitely to look into. Okay, so let's start with Sol. I'm just gonna put this like into the daily quickly. So daily is still looking seriously bullish, right? You've had months of accumulation, um, especially on the USD side of things, and then you've had this like explosion out of it, right? But there are a few signs that like these coins also might be going sideways, right? And like I showed with Link, I kind of think that these types of setups will probably play out, right? So big guys have closed out on positions here. There's like major volume going into the top. So a lot of guys obviously selling, and this is obviously on perp. So you've probably got guys hedging short, and you've obviously got serious amount of over leveraged longs, which obviously put in this bottom for now. But yeah, I mean, like this is something to watch out for. I definitely feel like we've got to take out that low, right? For it to be anything bearish. And that is obviously like a nice little demand zone over here, right? Let's just change that to demand. So it's kind of come into that demand zone, and we've seen there's been quite a bit of demand, because I think like some of these have already done like 30% or 40% back to the top kind of pumps. So yeah, it's nothing worrying yet. Obviously, like I said, like a break below it, especially like this trend line as well. And then we could even see ourselves back down at this accumulation range, which is like $3.20. And I mean, if it gets there, I'd probably mortgage the house, right? So, geez, yeah. Things are looking, like I say, quite sideways here, I think, at the moment. I don't think anything's just gonna, like, I mean, we've had a few weeks of this just like going up, right? So I think that we'll probably see a little bit of sideways action. I don't think that we'll just, break out. Like here, you kind of got a top, and then you broke out, and then we still went sideways. So I mean, that can also happen. I just got a feeling that like guys have kind of looked into projects now. So if you see projects dumping and not really getting bought back up, there's obviously issues, and like things aren't going to be working out as they as you probably thought they were. If projects kind of do range but keep on making higher lows and equal highs, and forming this like massive pennant, I think that those are the type of projects that you got to be looking for right now, right? And all of the products that like FTX are kind of getting behind are like that, right? So we'll see the same with Serum. I'm not going to look at Serum on the perp. Let's just look at it on the USD. It's got like pretty much new perps. So we'll just look at it in the USD chart. But same thing, right? So you've got this like massive accumulation zone, which is obviously demand. Price came in, but it's got like a bit of a rounded top. But I mean, like I said, it can also kind of just range here, before it breaks out again. And that's like pretty much what I think is going to happen, right? Unless Bitcoin completely fucks it all up. But I mean, if you look at all of these things, like you literally have months of accumulation before they pump, right? And then we've gone like 300%, I think. We've gone like, yeah, like 200, 300% up on most of them. So I mean, yeah, I could probably see a lot of guys taking profit in there, especially if you see those wicks. And now you're gonna have a whole bunch of new guys reopening positions, um, which is definitely gonna be accumulation, right? On perps, I've bought a few of these every single time it wicks down to the lows. Yesterday I tried to sculpt this on the 15 minute. I got a great bounce. I went to bed, woke up, obviously stopped out. Um, but on the actual spot side of things, I picked some up here at this level. It has bounced, right? So what I'm kind of hoping to see here on perp is that, like, let's say that's like the range, lows over there. You kind of want to see this close back above, and then continue that way. So this is definitely one to look out for. There wasn't a lot of selling. This was massive selling, but quite a bit of accumulation, I reckon. And this is just kind of like the retest, scaring out a whole bunch of guys, because it's a new coin. Scaring out a bunch of guys, and you see more interest over here, and you might even see it just like kind of wick into this 100% and then back down to the 50%, and you'll probably find quite a bit of buying action over there as well. So as long as perp kind of closes in here, I definitely would accumulate as much of this as possible. Then the one that I've been pretty vocal about on Twitter is this Bow Perp. This is a seriously interesting project. There are a couple of downsides, like there's only one dev, etc. But it's definitely something that, like, I mean, I would definitely wanna buy as much of as I can. Yeah. So every time that it's come into this zone, I've bought a little bit more. So we bought today. I bought that the day before, and then I've even got a couple of like stupid bids down here. I don't know if it will reach there. I mean, we had like quite a hard rejection out of this area, even though it didn't reach that demand zone. So I mean, we could reach that first, supply zone. So we could reach that first, and then even see us like sweep those lows. I mean, this is like brand new, right? So you're kind of gonna be watching this thing all the way through. It is on Gate.io, and on Gate.io we've already had like one cycle. So this is like almost like the retest. So it could be that this is a complete shit coin, and just carries on dumping. But I don't think that FTX would have listed it, right? And opened perpetual swap contracts and obviously spot as well. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hold this bag for as long as possible, and as long as we wick down into here, like these low 1300s, I'm a buyer. Right, then FTT. I mean, this is a coin that you kind of, you gotta kind of hold it, right? And this was also a pretty new listing on Perps. Like this isn't. I don't even think it's 2 months. Yeah, like just less than 2 months. So for the full history, I mean, go take a look at it on USD. But I mean, this thing ranged forever, and it's definitely a coin that you want to have if you're trading on FTX, right? You get reduced fees, and you get a whole bunch of staking options and DeFi options by using FTT. So it's definitely, like I said, I mean, like there's nobody that I know that doesn't want the coin. So the fundamentals are definitely there. And it all comes down to now like human greed, right? So we've opened up on perps, guys have driven price madly up, and like, I mean, this candle on the daily kind of shows you that this is probably all just profit taking. Guys taking profit in USD, and now you kind of got to watch the spot market, right? Obviously, there are now newer lows, and there still hasn't been a new high, so that's a little bit worrying. So you kind of want to see it get up there, and I mean, anything up there, you're going to buy the breakout. But anything down here, like I'm a buyer, right? There's absolutely no um, like nothing that I could almost like fault the coin for, right? And it's like one of Sam's projects, so this thing's probably gonna moon. um, that's FTP. Then you got FLM, which is like the new one as well. I was like waiting for this thing to come down into like the 22 cents range once it hit the highs. Um, but yeah, I mean, it just got up there, and you can see the volume just like went crazy. And then yeah, I mean, like this was pretty much where most of the volume kind of got sold out, and now you've seen this like next drive, but on seriously low volume. Um, so if you do look at this like on the daily, this whole thing could be like the new range, and we could come back down and test this area over here. I mean, this obviously was serious demand, and most of these coins are like, I mean, guys have been waiting forever, right, for the dip, and these dips were all bought like really hard. Like I said earlier, like there's some coins that have just like smashed 30 or 40% right back up to the highs. So I mean, there was definite demand for those, and you got to just kind of go through each one of these and see where they are in the cycle. This definitely is something that I'm gonna try and accumulate as well. So I'll be looking at accumulating in like this type of area over here. I'll probably go up to there, right? And all the way down to there. So I mean, yeah, I'll definitely be buying spot here, and at like 31 cents, it's a steal, especially if you can get back up to the old highs, right? I mean, that's like a 5x. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna buy anything that comes into here. Um, this one, you don't really have that, you don't really have that kind of you know throwback onto anything. So I would really like kind of wanted to see a throwback into here. Like I say, I mean, I'm not being completely bearish. I mean, if you take a look at Bitcoin, like I say, I mean, it's still looking insane, right? And I don't see any weakness. I'm just saying that, like, if we start seeing PA, not make new highs, we might see some ranging, um, and we might see some shenanigans, as guys want to, like really get good prices on Bitcoin. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where I stand. I'm gonna quickly go through XTZ, Neo, and ADA, some of the OG coins. So XTZ, I'm long on the Bitcoin pair on Finex, and I've been holding that position for about, like since Christmas, as well as Dash. But these are really um, not looking great, right? So you've almost got like a top that's been put in, and now you kind of got these like supply zones um, that are like really really big. I mean, this is the issue, right? So when you get into this type of thing, like guys have just been selling it, right, and taking profit, and now you've kind of retested it, and it's the same thing. So you really want to see the coin, kind of blasting through, like these levels, those highs, and then kind of, ranging here before it makes its next move up. So that's like XTZ, Neo, pretty much the same, although Neo looks a little bit more bullish, and then ADA as well. I mean, this thing's just not stopping, right? But you can see yesterday how many, like, I mean, that would be the normal, like if we were super bullish, that would be where everyone was bidding. And you can see that, like, I mean, it kind of reached all the way down to that accumulation. So, there was obviously a hell of a lot of guys that were over leveraged at the top here. But the issue is that, like, on almost all of them, prices come back into this supply, and it's reacted. So I mean, I'm not a buyer just yet, but on everything pretty much, I'm a breakout buyer. Well, I'm hoping that I kind of, get a new low, so that I can, accumulate some of these things spot as well. And like I say, I mean, stuff that's rebounded back straight away, guys are definitely looking for. XVG though, like I would leave alone. I don't even think they have it on. But I mean, I have seen it trending on Twitter. There was a couple of dodgy things that just happened on that blockchain. So like, I definitely do a little bit of FA research before you just blindly start buying coins. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I don't think the market's really gonna, change. I think we're still on like a mega bull run. We might just have a pause until the end of February, and kind of wait on. I mean, we don't really need new news, right? Like everybody's just buying Bitcoin, and every company wants to get in, and we might just see some companies get in, and whales, push them back out, and just to test the waters. But it would make it even more liquid, right? And I mean, these guys have to do like OTC deals with miners and that type of thing. So looking out for really good miners might also be a powerful play if you want to play in the stock space, right? Just to round it off, I just want to quickly go take a look at the dollar index, and just kind of like we always take a look. So the last time, we can't look at this thing like this. The last time that we took a look, we said that we were probably looking at it, like reaching something like here before it goes back down. But it's, like it's been super weak anyway, right? And I mean, it hasn't even been able to reach up there. I wouldn't say that it's going lower, purely because we still don't have another low, right? So you're gonna have to wait for a little bit of price action until you know. But I think, and like I've said on a couple of the last videos, this move down will be Bitcoin to like the 100K mark. So it's something good just to keep an eye on. But I mean, we still could have like a test and then back up there before it goes down. And it doesn't really mean that Bitcoin has to actually like move in the opposite. But it is kind of a good thing in terms of timing, for you to like make up your mind as to where you kind of want to get in to a crypto or Bitcoin position. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Like I say, I did show you guys most of the perps. I've got my spot list as well now, which I will share in the Discord. And if you are in the Discord and you like what I do, yeah, like I say, like I mean, just support the local guy that's putting out some content for you guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it, and yeah, let's see what we get this week. Like I say, I'm hoping that we go higher, but I'm not going to be upset if we do go lower, right? So yeah, good luck out there, and yeah, like and subscribe, and catch me on Twitter so that you can get into the Discord and like follow along with all the trades. Cool. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you next week. Peace.